Hello folks, and welcome to this Mario Super Sluggers video. I'm Everett, I'm part of the Super Sluggers League, and today I will be ranking my top 15 Mario Super Sluggers hitters. And this list is based on my opinion of how they hit, their hitting statistic in the game, and a little bit of the commish AJ's opinions. Another quick disclaimer before I begin is that star power is not included in this discussion, as we don't use star power in our league. And I'll be including all colors or versions as the same rank so they don't take up too much space on the list. And if there is one of that version that's better than the others, I will be in particular talking about that one. So I'll begin by listing my honorable mentions very quickly. These include Luigi, Daisy, Wiggler, and Yoshi, who's probably ranked 16th for me because I really enjoy his lefty swing and he gets great hits for me despite slow hitting stats in the game. So to begin the top 15, we start with King Boo. King Boo, although better on the mound, isn't a slouch at the plate either. He has great gap-to-gap power and home run power, and his only weakness at the dish is his consistency of contact, as I often pop up with him. My player comparison for King Boo would be Mark Reynolds. Shout out Mark Reynolds, great hitter in the early 2010s. They're both big power bats, and they just kind of whip their bat through the zone, throw it, so they have long, hard swings. So that's why I give them that player comparison, and they're both very powerful. So moving on to 14, I have Toad, and in particular Blue Toad, Yellow Toad, and Purple Toad because they have slightly better hitting stats. Toad hits with tremendous power if you square the ball up, and is a very solid singles hitter as well. And as you'll see later when I get my games uploaded, I bat Blue Toad leadoff, and I do this because I trust his bat and his speed in the game. Overall, Toad is small, but absolutely packs a punch at the dish with a huge swing, and for that reason, I give him a Dustin Pedroia player comp. Moving on, at number 13, I have the cover athlete himself, Mario. Mario is a very solid hitter with super high exit velos. His only issue is actually elevating the ball. He can hit it to the wall easily, but it's tougher for him to hit it high enough to get it over than it actually is for him to hit it to the wall. He's still very good, and my player comp for Mario at the plate would be like a slow pitch softball player, just an absolute grown man who just hits frozen rope line drives. On to number 12, I have Funky Kong, and to some this could seem like a low ranking, and to others this could seem pretty accurate. I just absolutely hate hitting with Funky Kong. He has a great hitting stat in the game, but when I hit with him, all I do is line out, pop out, or fly out. Not to mention all of the ground outs. And if it's right down the middle, there's a chance, with an off chance, I hit a home run, get the animation to hit a home run, but that's literally it. And I can't even give him a major league player comp because he just doesn't hit like a major league player for me. So, yeah. So that's kind of like a ranking because everybody else seems to like him, just not me. Just missing out on the top 10, at number 11 I have Bowser Jr. And for the longest time I thought Bowser Jr. wasn't that good of a hitter, but for my preparation of this video I learned how wrong that perception was. To me, he's kind of Toad on steroids. Far better contact and gap-to-gap power than him while still having the same or marginally worse home run power, and his opposite field power is off the charts. And for his size, or lack thereof, his speed, and his all-around hitting skills, I'll give him the player comp of Jose Altuve. Now, start off the top 10. I have Critter, and in particular, Red Critter. He narrowly beats out Bowser Jr., and if I keep using Bowser Jr., they could swap positions at some point. Critter has a quick lefty swing with good to great home run power. Leaving one down the middle would be an absolute mistake to Critter. Sometimes he does get pop-up happy, but overall he's a consistent, strong lefty power bat. And for that, he gets my 10th spot. And my player comparison for him would be Freddie Freeman. They're both strong, physically imposing lefties with short and compact swings that are just extremely effective. Next, at number 9, we have Dry Bones. Dry Bones might be somewhat small, but he has crazy home run power. He sometimes has flyout issues though, like others on this list, but up to this point, he definitely has the most power on the list. I'd give him the player comp of Brandon Lau. Both players are small in stature, but just hit a ton of home runs, especially when Brandon Lau is in his prime, so prime Brandon Lau. But yeah, this guy hits nukes, and he's just a great lefty hitter. Now, moving on to number 8, and that number 8 is Wario. Wario has that same slow pitch softball-esque swing as Mario, but he actually elevates the ball. He kind of swings up more, but he still has that slow pitch softball type swing. He hits a lot of singles, and when that pitch down the middle comes, it's frequently gone. And overall, Mario is a great hitter, and his player comparison is a slow pitch softball hitter that actually hits bombs. So at number 7, we have one of my personal favorites on this entire list, Berto. Berto is an all-around great hitter. She has base hits, gappers, home runs, just anything you need at that time. She has crazy exit velocities, and if I was using my God Squad, she'd be my leadoff hitter, and she can really do anything you need. And because of that, my player comparison for her would be Mookie Betts. Plays anywhere, hits great, steals bags, great defense, just anything you need. Mookie Betts does that. Same with Berto. And now we move on to the mashers. At number 6, we have the Piantas. These dudes have power off the charts, but the only issue is that if they don't hit a home run, it's often a can of corn fly ball. But luckily, they hit home runs very often. So my player comparison for them would be one of the biggest and most prolific sluggers with a huge swing, Mark McGwire. Moving on into the top 5, we have one of the most popular Super Sluggers characters and video game characters all together, Donkey Kong. DK has insane power. The distance and exit velocities of his home runs are just off the charts. The only issue with him is that his consistency of good contact is somewhat iffy. But if you could get that ball down the pipe, you could almost guarantee it's going to be hit 500 feet. Because DK is a prolific lefty slugger, who would be a better player comparison than David Ortiz, Big Papi? So that's my player comparison. At number 4, we have one of my personal favorites on this list, the Bros, and in particular, Fire Bro. He tomahawks baseballs out of the park with ease. He's an all-field hitter and hits bombs absolutely everywhere. He was my favorite player to draft in our Super Sluggers draft if you did watch that video. So spoiler alert if you didn't. Although they aren't completely similar, the closest player comp I have to what Fire Bro does is Albert Pujols, one of the greatest righty hitters of all time, and that still might not do Fire Bro justice. If you're not glazing this man, you aren't giving him the proper respect. Getting into the top 3 now, we have Petey Piranha. Many of you might have him as your favorite hitter, which is completely justified. These top 3 hitters have the best power in the game without a doubt. My sole issue with Petey is that outside pitch can be an issue for him, that outside corner, outside half. And this is because his arm or leaf, whatever you call the bat that he hits with, isn't long enough to make consistent contact with those pitches. But his swing is so compact and powerful and honestly beautiful. Because of this, I'd compare him to a more powerful Corey Seager. They have beautiful compact swings, and Petey just has 60 home run potential, while Corey Seager might have 40. So, sliding in at second place, narrowly eclipsing Petey Piranha for me, is King K. Rool, King Croc. For me, he's the greatest righty hitter in Super Sluggers, and he has a great argument for the most raw power in the game. The exit velos are almost unmatched, and any fly ball he hits has a chance of leaving. I'm absolutely terrified when I have to face this guy, whether it's the CPU or one of my friends playing. My player comp for him is Bartolo Colon. If that one at-bat he took at Petco Park, and I think it was 2016, was literally every at-bat for him, because that's all King Croc does at the plate. And finally, the best hitter in the game of Mario Super Sluggers for me is without a doubt Bowser. He has a debate to have the best power in the game. I'd say he does, with some of the most consistent hard contact, and he also bats from the left side. There's nothing else I can really say about this dude. This dude can absolutely ball, guys. Just trust me. My player comp is a fusion of Barry Bonds and Babe Ruth, and just take whoever you think is better at every aspect of hitting and combine them to make the absolute GOAT. And that guy would be almost as good as Bowser is. So shout out to my GOAT, shout out to Bowser, he's the best hitter of Mario Super Sluggers. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you haven't to watch, please tell me what you agree or disagree with, and maybe subscribe to the channel. Would you guys want a top pitchers list next? Let me know. Adios.